How do you personalize your sales approach for your different MSP leads? And this is really important because if you're struggling with I'm not getting past the gatekeeper, I'm not really connecting with the client, this is going to be the video that you absolutely need to watch. How are you doing? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether it's sales training, marketing training, or business operations. The only thing I want to tell you before I get into today's video is there is a masterclass down below. If you're starting your MSP, or even if you're an established MSP and you're looking to grow, build, get more money in the bank, get more clients, it is definitely the place. It's about 45 minutes long. It is jam packed with information to help you grow. I've gotten incredible feedback. I will leave that as the first link in the video description. So let's talk about why personalizing matters in sales. And truth be told, it's really because people want to feel like they're doing business. They're speaking to somebody that is in the same sphere as they are. The last thing that they want to do is truly hand you a bunch of money, and that is as far as they go. They are like hoping that you can deliver on what you say you actually do. They want to feel like it's personal. They want to feel like it's for them. This helps build trust and build credibility. It's important to have that. And throughout the entire process, think about it. When we're in sales, we have a BS detector, right? Something's fishy with this sale. And your prospects have the exact same thing. We want to make sure that we can remove that fear because that'll allow for a much smoother sales process throughout the entire process to help you actually close the deal. So, let's talk about what you can actually do to succeed in this. Step number one is you have to research the industry. Now, it doesn't matter what industries you're servicing with your MSP, you absolutely have to research the industry. You have to know the language, and that's step number two. Knowing the language, knowing the rules, knowing the jargon, for a better term, right? The terminology that they're going to use. In the MSP world, we have RMM, PSA, we have MRR, we have all the technical terms from WAP to AD, whatever you want to go through with it as. We have a million acronyms slash jargon that we can use in this industry. But it's the same in every industry, and we have to think like our target customer, right? If we're not thinking like they are, we can know all of it, right? We could walk into the place and say, "Hey, what are you guys using for? Do you have a hosted mail server? Do you have, who has it, right?" And you could start to piece things together. But our target customers don't care about that. They want to know that we speak their language. So if you're dealing with HIPAA, right, you should at least know what HIPAA stands for, but also what goes along with HIPAA, what is entailed in there. FINRA, FDIC, all of these are different aspects. And it doesn't just have to be the alphabet agencies, it could be other industries as well. You still have to know their terminology. Every industry has terminology, and I could probably give you a couple examples off the top of my head with where it's the lead. I think it's called lead chain or in logistics, right? Every industry has them. That's what I'm saying, right? We have them in the MSP world. Every other industry has them. You have to make sure that you know their industry in order to be successful, to build that actual trust. Step three is you have to tailor your value proposition. Obviously, you're going to help the customer, but if you're not tailoring the value that you provide to that actual customer, what are you really doing? You're losing a ton of potential opportunity there to connect at a deeper level and also show the customer. So when you do put up that price tag where you're like, it's a lot of money, they might be like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but this person gets it. They understand that the value that they're providing to me, but also they know the industry, they know the jargon, they know all the technical terms about it, right? That is the important aspects to make the sales process easier. And step number four, if you have this, I highly recommend doing this. Share relevant case studies and success stories that you've had in the industry. At some point when you're first starting out, it might be a little harder to do this, but over time, you're going to get better and better and better at this to ultimately alleviate a lot of those headaches that end up potentially driving your customer to say yes or no. And then step number five, the last but not least most important thing is address specific industry objections. Because throughout that process, you're going to learn about the industry, about the customer, about their business. You also have to understand that their objections might be very different. An accounting firm versus a legal firm, a medical facility versus more of just a maybe not a paper pusher, but a white collar office, right? Whatever they're doing. Maybe they're building plans, whatever it might be. These are things to keep in mind as time goes on. But it's important to know what their objections are going to be and how you can overcome them. Car dealerships are another great one. They are all professional salespeople. They want a deal. What objections is a professional salesperson who's selling cars? What are they going to give you? And the best thing that you can do for that sale is be prepared. Know who your customer is, know the jargon, know all of that. So that way, when the time the objection comes up, you can say, hey, I know exactly what it is, right? For nonprofits, cost is often a major concern. As a great example, show how your solution delivers an ROI, return on investment. Super, super important throughout that process. Now, some bonus tips for mastering industry sales because there's a lot of different industries that you can go into, and there's a lot of industries that you can help. Leverage networking. BNI, LATIP, your local chamber of commerce, find local networking groups. But attending any kind of networking group, any kind of networking industry event, trade shows, anything like that is going to help. The more you attend, the more people you rub elbows with, the more people you speak to, and ultimately, the more success you're actually going to have. You also want to create content, if you can, for those industries. Develop blogs, videos, maybe even a podcast, social media content. But as you go out, you're going to end up connecting with these people. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to find you online. They're going to find your website. If your online presence and your website does not speak to them, they're going to lose faith that you're a credible person in their industry. I hate to say it, but it's true. And last but not least, invest in some kind of training. Learn what certifications are. You don't have to go through and get the certification, but maybe spend a little bit of time going through a refresher course and just see what they actually have to go through with. YouTube University is a great place to start. You could go through and see what's required in that industry. I use towing every once in a while as a great example. They have to pass and get certifications and prove that they are passing different standards and things are up to the status quo. It's important to invest in just knowing what's going on so that way when you walk in there, you could feel confident you are going to be able to personalize the entire sales interaction for them. This makes them feel so much better, so much less on edge that, like, I don't know if this is the right person for me. Now, I'm going to paint a dream world scenario. You walk into, I don't know, a law firm, and you know, or better yet, we'll just use a medical facility because they're easy enough. You know that they need to be HIPAA compliant. You know that patient confidentiality is super important. But you also go in and you say, hey, what EMR system do you guys use? EMR stands for electronic medical record. That immediately conveys to that potential prospect that you have already had experience in the industry. If you do a little bit of homework beforehand, you could ask them what softwares they're using and say a couple of the big names to prove that you know the industry. You don't have to be an expert, you're not a doctor, but you're going in there with the knowledge they now feel, oh, he obviously has experience or she obviously has experience in this industry because they know EMR and they know what softwares we potentially are using. Or if not the one that we're using, they have experience with all of the ones that we've already seen to potentially buy in the past. This is where you can have a tremendous opportunity for success. And you don't have to go in there being Mr. Smarty Pants and being the smartest person and using all of the jargon. But adding it every once in a while just checks off the boxes that proves you know what you're talking about, right? It would be very easy for you guys to call my bluff if I didn't know what an RMM tool is and a PSA tool is and how an MSP functions and what an MSP actually does. It's the exact same thing. You have to show that to your customer. Now, in this case, I happen to be an expert, but you might not be an expert yet. But at some point, you are going to learn a lot more of the jargon, a lot more of how it works, a lot more of the system, and how they all function. So that way, as you progressively do more sales in that niche, more doors begin to open. People are going to start referring you because you're the person that knows the jargon, that they feel comfortable with, that knows the industry, and it gives them a ton of peace of mind throughout that sales process. It takes their guard from saying, you know what? I, j- I know I have to do this, but I don't know if they're the right person for me, to, okay, let's have a good sales call. We might be able to have a good conversation. And I know they know the industry. It's just whether or not they're a good fit for my business now. It immediately takes their guard down and makes the entire sales process significantly easier. So I hope you found some value in this video. If you did, like, subscribe, notification bell. A little bit shorter of a video for you guys today, but I know it's Friday. It's the second Friday of the month. Second Friday, technically, of the month. First working Friday for most people. Your MSP is going to crush it. Subscribe to this channel. You're going to learn a ton through it. And I wish you nothing but the most success this year. And I will leave some other helpful links down in the video description. Love you guys. I'll see you guys later.